Welcome to the Church Sound Podcast, where kingdom culture, real life, and technology intersect. I'm your host, Prentice Thompson, along with the pastor, Caleb Winley. We're here to help you get through Sunday. Did you hear the pastor? What about your live streams, social media? We provide solid solutions for all of your multimedia needs. Let's learn something today. Let's go. Yes. Welcome to another edition of the Church Sound Podcast. I'm your humble host, Mr. Prentice Thompson, along with the
Pastor Caleb Winley. Guys, thank you for joining us today. I'm so happy y'all
Thank you for tuning in. This is every day above board is always good.
It sure is, brother. It is, man.
And today, aside from it being welcome to show number 45, episode number 45.
Come on, that's it. We doing it, bro. We scaling the wall, man.
Yeah, I don't know how you say it in Spanish, but it starts with a 4, ends with a 5. I don't know how you say it in Spanish. In Spanglish.
Cinco, I don't know.
Something cinco. Today, we're recording a show on my wedding anniversary.
Wow, that's true. That's true. I gave you a shout out too, bro.
Yeah, appreciate that. So shout out to my bride. She's down south. I'm in New York still, so we FaceTimed all day, pretty much. That's all we can do.
That's what's up, man.
Shout out. This is year number 12, even though we have been friends and co-parenting for over 30 years. So this is
wow, bro.
Amazing testament. Amazing testament. So shout out to her. And welcome to episode number 45.
45.
Today's topic is setting the atmosphere for service. Setting the atmosphere for service. And I think it's really important for us not to just talk about technical things all the time, but we have to talk about spiritual aspects of technical things.
Exactly.
This is where kingdom culture, real life, and technology intersect.
Yep.
And that's what we're about at the Church Sound Podcast. So before we get started, the first thing I want to do is let everyone know, this is something I haven't done this in a while, is let everyone know that we do have Instagram. We do have Instagram. It's the Church Sound Podcast on Instagram. Yep. It's the Church Sound Podcast on Twitter.
Exactly.
It's the Church Sound Podcast on Facebook.
Right.
And on the website, it's thechurchsoundpodcast.com.
Exactly.
So there you have it.
Right.
So reach out to us, become a friend, become a follower, comment, leave something for us. If you have a show idea or a topic you'd like us to cover,
right, for sure.
Leave that information there, and we would gladly love to hear from you guys. Those of you who are getting the emails on the email blast, thank you for constantly joining us. Send us your response. We really appreciate the back and forth. We want to make this a community, not just a one-sided dialogue. We want you involved with the journey as well. Before we move forward, at the same time, we got to pay some bills and thank our sponsor, Metro Podcast Studio, the hottest podcast studio in New York City. If you're looking for live streaming, professional recording, video recording, 4K video recording, 4K podcast production, and podcast mixing, you can definitely hit them up at metropodcaststudio.com for all of your podcasting needs.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what do you think about the topic, brother?
Bro, I'm excited, man. I'm really excited about this opportunity to really share with the people about setting the atmosphere. I don't want to get too ahead of myself because I know me, I'm a talker. So, but there's such a great role that we have, not just coming to turn knobs,
right?
But you know what I'm saying? There's some things that God wants to turn in us before we even get to the board. You know what I'm saying? There's some things He wants to do. And I'm really excited that we'll get the chance to share that with the people.
Yes. But before we dive into the topic, we got a special guest. We got a special guest for Sunday school.
Special guest.
Sunday school. And let me see if I can find him.
Yeah, let's just go check and see if you.
Let me see if he's at. Hold on.
Come on, where you at, brother? Come on, man, we got to get this thing going. Hello. Where's Brown baby? Whoa. Where's my brother at? Where's Pastor Brown? He's supposed to be here.
I'm coming. I got it.
All right, boy. Come on, Slowpoke. Come on. Get it together. Oil up them knees, man. Put that anointing oil down there.
Hold on now.
Yes, sir. No problem, sir. Everybody's waiting and look. They're waiting to see you, waiting to hear from you. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Oh, look at you, boy. Oh, look at you. Yes. Look at you. I got my quarantine panoramic robe on.
I see.
You know, when you're preaching from that pulpit, boy.
Yes, sir.
It's right. I'm preaching from the corner of the room right now, boy. So I'm like,
yeah, I got you.
Figuring like I get the people the real deal.
I feel you.
The real deal. How you doing there, Apostle? How you doing?
Well. So now, let me ask you a question, which I think is very important. Have you took the vaccine yet?
What scene? I ain't checked no scene nowhere. We talking about?
You ain't take the vaccine yet, sir? You kind of
I vacuumed this morning, and it was a scene out there. It was a lot of lymph and stuff out there.
You know, like the vaccine, you know, from COVID and Johnson & Johnson and
I got baby powder. I put that baby powder on every. You can get real chaff if you don't watch out now.
I can agree with that. I definitely can agree.
You gotta have that Johnson & Johnson. You talk about that. I vacuum when I sew it.
Okay.
You talk, boy. You got me all messed it up. You talk about the COVID vaccine.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about.
You got that shot. You know, they said I wasn't old enough.
That's okay.
They said I was old enough. They said
I appreciate that. That's good.
It was like, boy, you look like you're 29, but you're 85. So we're not going to let you take it. I swear, I love playing with y'all, boys. Y'all good. Y'all just good people. Good people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we going to do, you know what? Prentice told me to introduce it. He said, we going to do
come on.
Sunday school.
It is. That's it.
And I'll be the man on the mic. I got my robe on. I got my panoramic robe on for the quarantine robe. Those of you watching on that YouTube, you need to come tune in and watch me, boy. Absolutely. Watch me do what do. Okay. You said I need 3 topics. Okay.
Well, I was about to say, did you get your 3 points, sir?
I got my points, and I ain't getting a chance to get my word, but I got a book here. Because the book here's a book, the real book in my heart.
Here it is. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, the first topic here.
Okay.
Peace in the house.
Peace in the house.
The second topic here, more, is let it go. Let it go. Oh, let it go.
Peace in the house, let it go. All right.
The last one is don't ask no question. Well, don't ask non-question. That's how I want you
the last one is don't ask no questions.
Don't ask non-question.
Okay. Non-question. All right.
Don't ask non-question.
Peace in the house. Let it go.
That's what I said.
And don't ask no questions.
Don't ask non-questions.
I think I want to hear. Don't ask no questions for $1 million.
$1 million, boy. You up in that high cotton, boy. You up in that high cotton.
Come on,
now. That high cotton. Okay. This here happened. I had a real robe on when I was in church. This was a while back. This is a very valuable lesson I learned being a preacher.
Okay.
So you bringing the word of God. There's a word that we use in the called assume.
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 Okay.
If you break it down, I can't say it, but you can think it. Assume. I'm cooking with grease there, boy. I'm cooking with grease.
Sir, you sure
hot grease. Let your fried chicken 49 times and some fried fish over the same grease. I'm cooking with grease, boy. I'm cooking with grease.
You cooking with grease.
I'm cooking with grease. So,
loving it.
Okay, I'm gonna get back to my story. Come on, get beside myself here. I was preaching. I was about to break open the word. I broke open the word, and you know how you start. You preach and you know that word assume. Out of you and me.
Right, exactly.
A booty. Out of you and me.
And you know where you're coming from.
You know where I'm coming from, boy?
Yes, sir.
So I'm preaching and I say out to the congregation, I think I was preaching up in Samuel talking about King David.
Okay.
And I said, well, y'all know about King David, but he was in this nappy-headed boy in the back of the church. He get up, he said, well, I don't know about him.
All right.
In the middle of the service. How the hell you get up and this ain't no Q&A?
He thought it was Sunday school.
No, he thought it was, you know what? He thought it was Sunday. I wanted to get the switch and go upside his backsides. Don't go upside his hump. How you gonna come up and go, well, I don't know.
Exactly.
In the middle of the service, people look around, they looking at me. You know what I said? I said, I ain't know what to say. I just keep on carrying on, and that's the lesson I learned.
That's good.
This is the lesson I learned.
That's good.
Don't ask the question you don't want the answer for. Because there may be a fool out there that just as dumb as a bag of rocks.
Yeah.
Get up in the bag of rocks. A bag of rocks. Just as dumb. Just as dumb. That's a good. Bag of rocks.
That's so
So don't
good.
ask no question. Don't ask non-question you don't want the answer for, boy.
That's right.
Don't ask non-question.
That's real good.
Hope you got something out of that.
Got something for sure.
That was hot off the plate, boy.
Hot off the plate.
Lord, drop that in me. That in me like
just
bloop.
There you go.
Like bloop, download.
Got that right in there. Oh man.
I got a new word.
You got a new word?
I got a new word. Download.
Well, don't assume that he downloads.
I don't know. You know, make a booty out of you and me. Booty. Oh, Tootsie Roll.
Okay, you're going too far now.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, printers. Okay. Oh,
yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Is he gonna carry on? Okay. Thank you, Pastor. Y'all bring it back anytime you want. You hear me?
We will absolutely.
Stop here for you. I'll get right.
That's good. Later, sir. Later. That's real good. Oh man, that's awesome. It's funny because a lot of times, a lot of pastors may say, "You guys know the story. Y'all know the story. But then people don't know the story. Welcome back, brother.
Yo,
how you doing?
I'm hot. I'm hot.
Turn the AC on.
Thank you, Pastor Brown, for bringing that inspiring word of God to us.
Yes. That was dope, bro. That was dope.
Pastor Brown a trip, man.
Yeah, he is.
He a trip. Trip and a half. Trip and a half in 3/4.
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Whoa. Topic for today, setting the atmosphere for service.
Setting the atmosphere for sure.
So before we can get into the atmosphere, we have to understand what service is, right?
Right.
So the definition of service is a means of delivering value, an action of helping or doing work for someone.
That's good.
Or a project or a organization. It is what you're giving, right?
Right.
So if I don't want to get too deep, but we are all servants. It's like Jesus was a servant.
Right.
Even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve,
To serve. That's
to
right.
give his life ransom for many. That's Mark 10:45.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we understand service. We all play a part in service.
Right.
We all play a part. No matter what
Everybody.
you do,
Everybody.
you
Yep.
all play a part in service. And in setting the atmosphere we're setting is for worship.
Yes, sir. That's right.
That is the key component, is that we're setting the atmosphere for worship.
Yeah.
In song, in dance,
Yep.
in drama,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
in the preach word, the teach word.
That's right. That's right.
It is
That's
the
it.
atmosphere of worship. And I found this definition by this gentleman named Eugene Peterson. He said,
Okay. I've heard of him. Yeah.
worship is the strategy by which we interrupt our preoccupation with ourselves
That's good.
and attend to the presence of God.
Wow.
Worship
That's
is
dope.
the strategy by which we
That's
interrupt
really dope.
our
Preoccupation.
occupation.
Right. Right.
Sound
Right.
like Pastor Brown. Preoccupation with ourselves and attend to the presence of God. So,
That's so dope. Wow.
what is worship? And how would you define worship, sir?
I think how I define worship would be worship is valuing or treasuring God above all things.
Mm.
When I'm in that place of worship, because there's the public expression of worship, and then there's the inner expression of worship.
Right.
And so in order for there to be a public expression, there first has to be an inner expression. So in order for there to be that inner expression, I've got to put God, or some people will put certain things over everything else.
Right.
To them, that's worship. That's how they make their woman feel good. That's how they make themselves feel good. That's how, that's how they make the car makes them feel good, because they have placed that thing over all things. But in order for me, the believer, to come into worship, I have to see God as paramount. And that for me is, he's got to be numero uno. You know what I'm saying? We got to value him higher than anything else, man.
So basically what you're saying is that if you're a human being on this planet, you were born to worship.
Born. Absolutely.
Born to worship.
Created. We were created to worship.
Created to worship.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We were created to worship. I believe we were created to worship God, but we tend to worship other things in lieu of God. You understand what I'm saying? I believe that. So hard. Yep.
Right. So I got 7 points.
Okay.
My first point is, worship is led in the service, in your morning service. Worship is led. Right. Worship must be an environment we cultivate, a culture that we encourage from the furthest seat to the closest seat in the sanctuary to the front of the crowd. It is led.
Right.
You lead. So your worship leader is part of that process. Whoever that person is, they're part of that process. Number 2, worship is a reflection of a healthy, unified church.
That's truth. That is true.
It is the reflection of a healthy, unified church. The sound in your house should always reflect the soul of your house.
Right.
The sound of your house should always reflect the soul of your house. We'll get back to that point with technology in a moment.
That's good.
Third point, worship focuses us on who God is.
True. Yep.
Hebrews 4:16. Let us then approach God's throne with grace, with confidence.
Right.
It focuses us on who God is. Worship, number 4, is a heart issue.
Yes.
Worship is the overflow of what's going on in our heart, a correlation between our lips and our heart they all run through scripture, but it should run through you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Number 5, worship is just our salvation being worked out. Salvation is God's restorative work. Our worship is the partnership with God, and that in that work, worship has the power to write the story of our lives.
So good. So good. Yeah.
Just as your soul longs for God, so our worship is the outworking of our salvation story. We all know where we started, you know where you're at, and the process of worship gets you through that.
Yep.
Worship, number 6, charges the atmosphere of your life. Have you ever walked into a service that was just lit, just saturated?
Exactly.
It charges the atmosphere of your life.
Yep.
And lastly, worship comes from a revelation of Jesus.
Right.
From the conversation at the well, to the cross of Christ, to the empty tomb, to the upper room, to the early church, to the gate called Beautiful. It is the worship of Christ being revealed to them and to us.
That's so true.
So with these 7 points, I kind of came to the realization that your AV ministry or your multimedia ministry or whatever you call it is in support of the worship, whether it be spoken, sung, drama. We are the support. We are not the experience. We are the support of the experience. So then my question to you as a AV leader, director, pastor, how do you prepare a multimedia ministry for this?
I think personally, in order to posture ourselves to assist or to be the framework of what worship should be, or at least to be the framework that worship rests upon, because we're a supporting cast. I think the most important thing for us is to first be in our position first. I think as media professionals, our responsibility has always been that of a recon agent. Not that we, like the Army was the first to go out and search out the enemy. We have to do that for ourselves, because recon is spiritual. I gotta worship first before I can support the house. I can't come to the church and be like, okay, let's all pray together and try to drum it up and then try to produce what the atmosphere that God wants to produce at that particular moment. The atmosphere that happens in the house, it must start first within. And it has to start within the entirety of the team. Not we just praying, but that we all came with the same mindset that I'm coming to be a supporting character in the midst of what's going to take place. So that means that I've got to first be in worship. I've got to first value God. I've got to first have my right mindset, my devotion, my heart. All of that has to be in connection and be ready so that I can then be that support that God rests. The Bible says that he rests upon the shoulders of sons. Well, sons are worshipers. A son knows the presence of God. You understand? So we have to be that as AV professionals. And we have to teach our team members that when you're coming, you're bringing worship with you, your own worship, into the doorway, into the section that you been called to manage and to steward. My job is not just to come there to press a button, but to come there, allowing him to press my buttons, man. It just has to happen that way, man. It really does.
Right. I think a lot of times, and I know as an engineer, sometimes you can get caught in your ego. I can speak for myself. Sometimes you can get caught in your ego. I don't understand why they don't do this. How come, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I think the moment we step back and we go, I'm just supporting.
Exactly.
I'm just supporting.
Exactly.
And with that, I think that to have everyone on the same page, I know we speak in Invisible Ministry about
Right.
the three chords, where it's
Right.
music ministry, pastoral staff, AV multimedia. All
Right.
these things have to work together.
Right.
And I think in working together, it's the first thing we need to have is, what is the clear vision about what is about to happen?
Exactly. So true. So true.
Because we
Everybody on the
have to
same
have
page. Yeah.
right. It's like what are we trying to do? Meaning, if we know that the drama ministry is ministering on Fifth Sunday, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we never get to meet with the drama ministry.
Okay.
And then that Sunday, that Fifth Sunday comes and they just throw a script at you.
Right. Right.
And you don't have a clear vision on what's about to happen.
Right. Absolutely.
So now you're scrambling because no one's giving you the clear vision. No one's
Right.
giving you blocking. No one's, they passing around, a handheld, because you weren't given the vision to make their vision more excellent.
Okay.
Or
Okay,
excellent, period.
Right. Right. Right.
So if the music ministry, you don't know what songs they're singing.
Right.
If you don't know who's singing lead,
Right.
then the clear vision of what to expect, you're scrambling just to catch up.
Got you.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So when the AV department gets clear vision, this is what it allows us to do.
Mm-hmm.
It allows us to minister with our gifts.
Got you.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it allows us to think outside the box about, how can I make what they're trying to present better?
Sure.
How can I enhance what's about to be presented?
Right.
If I have a clear vision, Sister such and such is going to sing lead on the second song.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I know she's a belter. And I know that once she starts singing lead, I need to bring her down at her monitor just a hair.
Right, right.
So she doesn't overpower, because she needs to hear the support of the praise team or the choir. Because when she gets excited, she brings the mic too close to her mouth and she sings really hard. I need to make sure that I have her compression level set.
Right, right.
So that she is free to minister,
sure.
Because I have a clear vision about what's about to happen. And I, as the engineer, can prepare and enhance her performance, her ministry, because we're there to help her reach the people.
Sure, sure. Which I love the fact that you started out talking about the ego part. I remember some years back, someone told me ego stands for easing God out. Taking that, when I'm bound in my ego, I'm easing God out, because I've kind of taken the posture that it's a Messiah complex almost. You know what I'm saying? I got this. I got this. You ain't got to worry about that.
Right.
But a lot of times, I think what tends to happen is, as media professionals, because we are technical based, because we do know what we're doing, sometimes we forget. And the Bible talks about how the people honor me in vain during their worship. Because why? Because they never connected. You're honoring me with your mouth. You're honoring me even in the technicality of it all.
Right.
But honestly, you came to me with zero. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that in that mindset, when I first set, like we've been talking, we set ourselves, and we're going to set the atmosphere. To set the atmosphere, we have to be set. So then I don't miss the rehearsals. You know what I mean? I make sure that I'm in sync for that day. Even if a ball drops, what I found is that the Holy Spirit has a way of just kind of nudging me. It's something I'm gonna use that as an example. Maybe about 2 days ago, I came in from work and I saw one of my kids' trucks, my son, your nephew. I saw a truck on the sofa, and I heard the Holy Spirit say, "Move that," and I just ignored it. Don't you know? He came out the bedroom, tripped, and landed on that very car. This was seconds. Had I got not being in my ego, you know what I mean? Went and dealt with that, I would have been able to take away that situation that would have happened. It's the same thing in media. It's the same thing when we come into the house. We have to be plugged in. And I think that a heart of a worshiper is a person who's plugged in. And only a plugged in individual can set an atmosphere, man.
Right.
And I think that's so powerful when you talk about that ego part, because it keeps me from being plugged in, man.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times what it does is it gives you a sense of hierarchy.
Sure.
But that can happen in any ministry. And I think people need to understand that. It's like I've mixed at churches where the attitude came from the MD.
Sure.
I've been in churches where the attitude came from the pastor.
Right.
That is where clear vision and clear understanding that every department is in service to the atmosphere of worship.
Right.
And once everyone is on that page, God will show up in a way that will blow your mind.
Yeah.
Because we're in service to what he wants to do in the space that we're in.
Right.
I think the second thing is that as an AV guy, multimedia, however you want to frame it, is that we have to learn to be the calming voice of reason and the instrument of strong direction at the same time.
That's good. Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Because things happen like this.
Yeah.
And you have to make priority decisions based on the atmosphere.
Right.
Not, this is how I do it.
Right.
Because there are times when I'm mixing, I can feel when God's about to move somewhere. I can go, okay. I can listen to the sound and go, okay, all right, let me just add some reverb to this.
Yeah.
Or like, hold up. Okay, hold on. Let me just try this.
Right.
And then I can see, and you can feel how it changes in the room.
Because you're in that river, bro. You're in that river right there. That's where you at.
We're all in service to the Spirit as it moves. And it's
awesome.
I just think people need to understand this. The atmosphere is for a purpose.
Exactly.
And once you understand that you're part of God's purpose, you will handle it way different.
Yeah.
Because you realize it's not about you. When you're part of his purpose for the moment.
Right. Exactly. Oh man. Wow. It reminds me of there's a scripture that talks about that there are no larger, I'm paraphrasing, there's no large and small pieces. Like every part supplies. So if I understand that, even in what I'm doing, even in just me advancing a pro presenter slide, that's part of the support. That's part of the structure. That sets the atmosphere for God to get the glory. But you can never look at your responsibility as, well, this is just that. This is not important. No, every part, like you said, every piece of the church service, every usher, the person that puts in the letters, for the tithes and the offering, every part of it is for the support. And I think many a times that's how we get the we syndrome. I think that's how we get that a lot of times. It's us against them, or it's them over there and us over here,
Right.
because we're not, there's that koinonia, that fellowship that gets lost, where we lose the focus of why we're doing this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think that's important.
So how do you think you can get to being the calming voice and the instrument of strong direction?
I think personally, I have found, just using myself as an example, I've found that when I have spent my time, like you said, and it's something you said earlier before we even started, when I have spent my time in his presence, I'm better yet equipped to hear God and say, hey, let's not do this, let's focus, or even being more amenable to say, okay, no problem, we'll bend, we'll shift, we'll go where you want to go. Why? Because the important thing is that person that just came into service, that's the important person. I think that when we put others ahead of ourselves, that's what, and the Bible, everything that we're talking about is in the Bible. He's talking about think of others greater than yourselves. Why? Because there's something that God has brought them in to do. So I got to be a person that says, hey, in this situation, I'll take the low road.
Right.
I'll give you the high road, because what's important here is not how I feel, or not that I want to win, but that everybody in the room wins.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the key that's going to make it happen, or at least one of them.
You know, the funny thing is that I found mixing at a church, and it's especially for a home church or a church that I'm familiar with, that I kind of know most of the people,
right,
recognize faces, may not know everybody's name, is that it's funny when I see the new person in the audience.
Yeah.
I try to look on how it's making them feel.
That's good.
Because everybody else has experienced this.
Right.
I want to see how I can use what he gave me to touch them.
Right, exactly.
So I'm watching, like, seeing how they respond.
Right.
You know, I'm trying to use what I have to touch them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And hopefully, I'm pretty sure the ones who are ministering can sense that as well, because they're trying to reach that person too.
Exactly.
The pastor or the minister is trying to reach that person too. We're all trying to reach that person. Think about that.
Right. That's true.
We're all trying to reach that one person that came that doesn't know God.
Yeah, that's dope.
We're all trying to reach him.
Yep. You know, as bro, that's dope, because even Passa Brown kind of said it. He said he said, y'all know the story. You know, y'all know David, but there was the one that didn't.
Right.
So having that mindset that, okay, just because I know it, don't mean everybody know it.
Right.
Just because I'm enjoying worship doesn't mean everybody else is enjoying worship. And I should be not so caught up. That's why I love the definition that you gave. We're not preoccupied with ourselves, but we're preoccupied with everybody getting into the place where God wants them to be. I think that's key. So when we see that individual, actually we're first able to see them because we're not so caught up in seeing ourselves or just seeing God for ourselves.
Right.
We're looking for somebody else to really come into the flow, come into the move of what God is doing at that moment. I mean, that's what true worship is. And that is what sets the atmosphere, because that means everybody gets to go in.
Right. Everybody gets to go in. Exactly.
Everybody goes in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Exactly. And I think the thing that I learned the most as being not just a part of a team, but being a leader of a team, is that you have to realize that people are people and nobody's perfect.
Right. True.
It's no perfect people.
Right.
He hung, bled, and died. That's the only one.
Exactly.
The only one.
Exactly.
So you can't expect people to be you.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to take it as a grain of salt and kind of move on.
Yep. Let it roll off.
Let it roll off. And then
Right.
I think another thing that goes along with that is understanding your team members.
Right. Yeah.
You know, Proverbs really speaks about being understood and understanding.
Exactly. And we've talked about this in one of our prior podcasts where we spoke about it. You can't treat each and every one of them the same way because they all have a different temperament. Right. And so I've got to be smart enough, wise enough to be and connected enough to know how to enter in to their lives so that even in their error, they don't feel crushed. Even in mistakes, they don't feel defeated. I think that's so important that we build relationships, and that's so good. We have to build relationships with them outside of the confines of the church, but it's still worship.
Right. I think building bridges is. This is how I look at this. I just got the download.
Okay.
Pastor Brown. I'm paying attention, Pastor Brown.
That's it.
Bridges. There are a couple of different types of bridges. You got drawbridges.
Right.
You got permanent bridges. Bridges are going to be torn down and rebuilt.
Sure.
So when you look at people, understanding that you're building a bridge, but it's gonna come a time when conflict is gonna arise.
Exactly. Yep.
How strong is the bridge? Can the bridge withstand the conflict? If you have not taken time to invest in the bridge between you and that person, when conflict comes, you're not going to have a bridge. You're going to have division. Right.
Because then when conflict comes, I shouldn't say I don't want to cross the bridge anymore.
Right. Because conflict will come.
Exactly.
That's a guarantee because of the nature of the nature of the business, the nature of the department is that conflict is part of it. You know why? Because people are involved.
Exactly. And people and every technical aspect, I think media sees it. We may not see it as other parts of the body see it, but within media, because of its technical aspect, sparks fly a lot quicker. Because we're not just trying to put on a good show, we're trying to put on a professional show. We're trying to be the best that we can be and exalt God through the excellence of what I bring to the table to help that happen. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I think that we have to be individuals that know the first people that's going to be setting the atmosphere should be us and ourselves. So that way, when the word comes, it rolls off your back.
Right.
When they get corrected, okay, I understand, and I understand why that was said, and I don't take it personal. Let's move on. Yeah.
So, how important is spiritual structure in a department, and what is it? How would you define it?
Well, spiritual structure is what Paul called spiritual worship. In other words, it's not the external. It's living this life. Leaders should first be believers, not leaders. Even though I put on a title, even though now I'm front of house and I do all these great and wonderful things, I'm still first a believer. The believer has a succulent heart. He has hands they're not swift to hurt. He has feet that are not ready to run away. He wants to be a support. He wants to pray. He wants to spend time in God's presence. All of that comes to aid in living the life, but you also being a support to your brothers and your sisters.
Right.
So my responsibility as a man of God in leading this team or leading even a church is to keep myself connected, keep myself tied in, so that way everything that I say and do is washed in God's blood. It's so important. So in order for us to have a team structure that works, it's got to be bathed in God, man. It did. there's no other foundation for which we've been called to stand on but him.
Right.
So if I'm been called to lead these people, where am I leading them? I'm leading them to the throne room. There should be no pastor on this planet that ever tries to bring people to himself. We're all preparing people for another man. Oh, that's it. Mm-hmm. So in media, everywhere, we have to keep God at the forefront and always remind people, I'm not doing this for me. I'm not leading you guys for me. I'm leading you, and I'm doing this because of God. And what makes that to happen is our spiritual formation, the time we spend in his presence, what we do even as a team, the breaking away and building upon that. Like in our team, we would take every Wednesday, we would just come together and just do Bible studies, because that is the iron sharpening iron. That keeps us knowing first and foremost that this is not just technical, this is spiritual. Right. And because we are, not just because we're in a church, but because we're believers. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I think that sometimes we may make a mistake and say, well, I do front of a house in a church. No, you do front of a house as a believer. Mm-hmm. That's the important part. Mm-hmm. It's not the fact that you're in a church building. We could take the church name off and it just be an event center. Right. You know what I'm saying? Just because people came looking for God, that's cool and wonderful. But the optimal position that I need to have as a man of God is to know who I am first. I'm a believer. I love God. I trust God. I walk with God. So that has to be drilled in and then reinforced as leaders into the lives of our teams and into the lives of those that come to work and support, be that support system for the kingdom to really become what it's called to be.
Amazing, amazing. So I hope you guys just kind of glean from that information and understanding that we are in service. And setting the atmosphere means that we are in service to the God of the universe. Yeah, yeah. We're in service to building, to help. We can't help him, but we can use what he gave us exactly to assist him, because on the earth, he uses us. Yeah. That's crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? So we're in service to him. Yeah. And that when we're in service to him, we're in service to the music ministry. We're in service to the pastor, the leadership. We're in service. We're there at the drama ministry. We're there at the dance ministry. You know, make sure their tracks are bumping. Make sure they got a WAV file instead of an MP3. Make it, all those things that will make what they do excellent. Yeah. We're in service to everything that people see and hear. Think about that. We're in service to everything people see and hear. Yeah. 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 So take that as just a spiritual nugget. Take that as your how my Jamaican brothers say, your vitamins. Yeah. You know what I mean? Your vitamins. You know what I mean? Your vitamins. Yeah. You know, your healthy vitamins, your day in the sun, your vitamin D, whatever you need, you call it. It is the nourishment of understanding and introspection about what we do as AV professionals. Exactly. With that being said, Pastor Caleb, I got we're gonna get into funny. You know what we do. Today I'm on the hot block. Last week Pastor Brown gave Pastor doozy.
He peeled me.
Pastor Caleb, look on Pastor Caleb. Those of you who have not seen it, go back and look.
You have to watch it. You have to watch it.
Go back and look at episode.
Oh my gosh, man!
It is in the words of my good friend Azel Brown. It is hilarious. Hilarious.
Yeah, man.
So let's get into 30 seconds and gone. Let's go.
30 seconds and gone. All right, my brother, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Now this is gonna be one that's probably gonna really hit you hard. So my first question, salaried love offering or no offering from the house?
Oh, salary.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, salary.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking
if you
about.
worth it,
yeah,
you gotta be worth it.
You got it. Thank you. That's good.
Gotta be worth it.
That's good.
You just can't be like you mix it for 2 weeks and now you want to be salary. No.
Exactly.
You have to bring something to the table for you to be qualified for a salary.
That's good.
That's it.
That's good. That's what's up. All right. So, what's your favorite part? Editing, mixing, or mastering a body of work?
All three.
All three?
I don't really have a favorite. I would say I love the process.
Okay. I feel that. That's good. All right, number three. Ableton, Pro Tools, or Logic?
Logic all day long.
Okay.
All day. And the main reason is that I appreciate Ableton. It's a linear program.
Sure.
Creative program, which is great for using with your band or your praise your band, because you can because what's great about it is that people don't notice is that you can go back to a section. So say for instance, you guys are in the bridge, and the band wants to go back to the top, and he taps his head. As long as he's got a 4-bar, he's got a 4-bar, a 1-bar count, he could bring the program back to 1.
That's dope.
If sounds change in sections.
Sure.
So in that aspect, I love it for that aspect of it because it's pliable.
Okay.
Pro Tools is more of your mixing format, and because I create most of my music in Logic, I mix in Logic. I've had a lot of records mixed in Pro Tools, mixed 2-track tape, 2-inch tape. So long answer is Logic for me. I've been using it since Logic 3 or Logic 10.
My thing is, why is Ableton so expensive? That wasn't a question. Number 4. Number 4, which is better, audio or MIDI?
It depends on what you can control.
Okay.
Now, I would say that because MIDI has now intertwined with USB in a sense, because you can now connect a USB controller, a keyboard via USB directly to your computer.
Right.
It's really what's in your machine.
Right. Okay.
Because you can have a program like, say, like MainStage.
Right.
MainStage is a product that is an offshoot of Logic, where you can use it as an instrument. So I can have keys, strings, whatever. However I program it, just like a keyboard, it's a computer. It's a keyboard inside your computer. So in that regard, is how you use it.
Right.
In the sense of this having great files, I would probably say that's more in the recording aspects of it. So I would probably lean more. Depends on where I'm at. If I'm mixing, I want you to make sure you send me them. Don't send me the hot wave files. Send me, I need that.
Right.
Don't send me crappy wave files. Don't send me garbage in, garbage out. If it's recorded horribly, it's like I gotta work harder to make it sound great.
Exactly.
But for creating, I love the idea of having so much instrumentation and creative ideas. I can grab inside my machine where I don't need like 15 keyboards. Even though I do like certain things I like to play in as a producer and as an instrumentalist.
Okay.
But it's a marriage.
That's what's up. All right. My last question. Brapa. If Jesus was in media, where do you think he'd be?
He'd be a stagehand.
Huh?
He'd be a stagehand.
Wow. Okay.
He'd be a runner. He'd be a runner.
Right. He'd be in the lowest position.
Right.
He'd be in the lowest position. That's good. That's good, bro. So that means that we have to take our positions lower.
Humble.
Yep.
Humble.
And I think that goes back to when we're talking about setting the atmosphere, bro. Humility is key, man. Because if Jesus would find himself pulling wires, what's my problem?
Exactly.
Wow, bro. This has been 30 seconds and gone with my brother.
Yes. Yes.
Look, you did good this time, brother. You did good.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate the compliments and the words of gratitude and graciousness.
Yes.
I do appreciate the kind and gentle words of the words of description describing me in such high regard.
I know.
I'm excellent.
I work on my vocabulary.
I'm not humble right now. I'm gloating. I'm a man above all men. I'm an engineer above all engineers. I thank you so much for your recognizing the color of my skin and
we the peons. Yes,
we the peons.
Yes, sir.
I thank you. You may kiss the hand. You may kiss the hand.
Exactly. Oh man.
Well, thank you guys for joining us, episode 45. I hope you have gleaned some knowledge from it. I hope you have learned a great deal, and I hope you take the time to do these 3 things: write a review and share,
please.
Comment.
Right.
Leave a comment and just communicate with us, and we appreciate everything you do. And we appreciate you just taking the time out your day to spend some time with us. That's super, super great. And that people actually download and want to listen to what we have to say. At the end of the day, we're trying to be of service to the listener, because we want to be an encouragement to you, because you're using your gifts and talent to help the people reach the people.
Yeah.
Help the people.
So true.
Reach the people.
So true.
So we do like we always do. Keep God first in everything you do. And we see you next time.
Yeah.
On the Church Sound Podcast.
Blessings.
Every service, they are there. Every conference, they are there. Trustworthy, professional, and faithful. They're the first to arrive and the last to leave. They are our essential workers. Hey, Pastor, if this does not describe your media team, then we can help. If you want your team to rise to the occasion, let us train your team. Partner with Invisible Ministry. Do you want to partner with IVM? Come on and partner up. You can contact us at 757-768-5136. We do new installations and upgrade existing equipment. No church too small, no church too big. Give us a call for a consultation at 757-768-5136.